In this video, we'll be examining the pivotal role that former Roscommon County Registrar Fintan J Murphy played in the events leading up to the unlawful eviction of the McGann family from their home and lands in Falsk, Strokestown, County Roscommon in 2018. The violent eviction that took place on the 11th of December 2018 on behalf of KBC Bank was carried out by Aidan Devlin of Trinity Asset Management and his unlicensed gang of ex-PSNI and British soldiers led by Ian Gordon, and was facilitated by An Garda Síochána. None of this could have been possible, however, without the orchestrated efforts of Fintan J Murphy. 5 days after the violent eviction, approximately 30 men, incensed by what had transpired days earlier, turned up at the property in the early hours of the morning to remove the illegal and unlawful gang and retake possession of the McGann family home and lands. As a result of this action, 4 men went on trial in the criminal courts of justice on the 11th of January 2023, each accused of 17 charges. On Friday, the 2nd of June 2023, 3 of these men were found guilty of varying offences. The following information you're about to hear was hidden from the jury in that trial. The charges levelled against the 4 men start from the pretence that KBC Bank were lawfully in possession of the lands and dwelling at folio RN 32752. This is not true. KBC Bank had no lawful possession to the property, but Mr Murphy, the County Registrar for Roscommon, masterminded a cunning plan to confuse and deceive all involved and facilitate the stealing of the McGann home and lands. From the outset, it should be noted that the McGann's lands and dwelling, comprising of folio RN 32752, were still in Anthony McGann's name on the 2nd of May 2022, 3.5 years after the eviction took place. Now let's examine the paperwork that led up to the eviction. Firstly, let's have a look at the High Court record for KBC Bank Ireland plc versus McGann 2009/544SP. This is the High Court number relating to this matter, which will be important to keep in mind. Now there are many serious issues with this document, but let's just take it from here. The 28th of June 2017, with the bank filed for a renewal of a possession order of execution. A possession order, otherwise known as an order of possession or an execution order, has a lifespan of 12 months. Before which it must be renewed. It's important here to note the difference between an order for possession and an order of possession. An order for possession has a lifespan of 6 years and requires the property owner to give up their property voluntarily. If they refuse to do so, the bank must go before the court again and apply for an order of possession, which must then be executed or renewed within 12 months, failing which they must put the respondent on notice and make an application for renewal. Back to the High Court record, we can see that there was a possession order, or an order of possession, filed again on the 8th of August 2018. As this is beyond the 12-month allotted time frame from the previous renewal of the 28th of June 2017, as Superior Rule states, the order is said to be out of currency and becomes invalid. In addition, there is also no grounding affidavit lodged with this order. By law, KBC Bank should have made an application to the court to renew the order of possession unnoticed to the defendant. Even though we've seen that it's invalid due to it going beyond the 12-month limit, let's take a closer look at the High Court Possession Order, otherwise known as the Order of Possession or the Execution Order. We can see the number on the top of the Execution Order, 2009/NO544SP, and a date of the 8th of August 2018. What we cannot see, however, is any signature from a KBC Bank official, or a court messenger, or a county registrar, which would be required in order to put KBC Bank in possession. During the criminal trial that convicted 3 men on the 2nd of June 2023, KBC Bank official Danny Noon and court messenger Nigel Bushell both swore an oath that they signed said execution order. Yet the jury were given an exhibit of an execution order that was unsigned by any KBC Bank official, court messenger or county registrar. This went completely unchallenged by the judge and DPP. In the weeks following the issuing of this High Court order of possession, Anthony McGann wrote to County Registrar Fintan J Murphy and put him on notice that the order had lapsed and was therefore invalid, and that he would hold Murphy personally liable if he came to enforce it. Murphy, whose job it is to execute possession orders in the county of Roscommon, whether they come from the High Court or the Circuit Court, was now fully aware that he wouldn't be able to execute the possession order and lodge it into the High Court Central Office after the eviction, as is required under Superior Court rules and by the order of Chief Justice Frank Clark. With the inability of the County Registrar to lodge this document, this case was going nowhere until the following Circuit Court order for possession appeared, number 2079/2018, signed by none other than County Registrar Fintan J Murphy. The only problem for Murphy here, though, was that the McGanns were never in the circuit court in relation to these matters. Murphy used this circuit court order 2079/2018 solely for the purpose of trying to give credence to the High Court execution order that couldn't be lodged in the central office or used to repossess the McGann's dwelling and lands. On the back of this fraudulent circuit court order for possession, Murphy then issued an order of possession and a document called a posse comitatus. Posse comitatus goes along with an order of possession or an execution order, and its function is to give legitimacy to the bailiffs and the hired gang to carry out the eviction. In this case, they were all appointed on the number 2079/2018, arising from the fraudulently created posse comitatus, and had nothing to do with the High Court order number 2009/544SP. It was proven afterwards, by the way, that this hired gang had no licence to operate in this jurisdiction and was convicted in a court of law. The circuit court order for possession from a case that never took place was created to validate what they couldn't execute, the High Court order. The repossession of the McGann family home and lands was grounded on proceedings that never took place, and this document here has been used as evidence in the trial that convicted 3 men in the criminal courts of justice on the 2nd of June 2023. So, if it was the fraudulently created circuit court order for possession that was used to evict the McGanns on the 11th of December, why then at 11:17 at night, on the 16th of December, just hours after supporters of the McGanns had retaken possession of the property, did Aidan Devlin of Trinity Asset Management, responsible for hiring the ex-British Army and PSNI gang to assist in the eviction, send an email to Chief Superintendent James Boyle of Castlereagh Garda Station stating that he will deliver the bodycam footage of the execution of the High Court order the following morning. It's also worth noting that the attachment which Devlin refers to in the email regarding the High Court order was never produced in the trial against the 4 men. Now let's jump forward to the 4th of January 2019. This is a letter from KBC solicitors Joint and Crawford to the solicitor of David McCann, Anthony's elderly brother. This letter states, the execution order of possession dated the 8th of August 2018 was executed by the County Registrar's office in County Roscommon. This is the High Court order being referred to, which as we've already shown was invalid and therefore could never be executed. But if we look at a letter dated the 17th of September 2020 sent by County Registrar Fintan J Murphy to Anthony McGann, referring to the eviction, Murphy specifies the circuit court record number, which was fraudulently created, as the court order that was executed and not the High Court order. In summary, KBC Bank made serious errors in their attempts to seize the McGann family home and lands, and were facilitated by Fintan J Murphy in overcoming their shortfallings. Murphy manufactured a circuit court number out of thin air about a court case that never happened in an attempt to obfuscate the issue and confuse the McGanns into accepting the legitimacy of the original but invalid High Court execution order dated the 8th of August 2018. Murphy was subpoenaed to give evidence at the criminal trial of these 4 men earlier this year. Unfortunately, however, he didn't turn up. The court was told that he was away on 3 weeks' holiday at the time. While the 3 men that were found guilty in the criminal courts of justice on the 2nd of June 2023 for crimes including trespass now face a lengthy prison sentence, the criminal actions of big banks colluding with court services, judges, registrars and TDs go unpunished. There's no sign of any corporate governance here, it seems. There needs to be a full public inquiry into the actions of County Registrar Fintan J Murphy regarding his dealings with KBC Bank and the Irish court services of which he's a member. And don't forget, RTE and the other mainstream media outlets in Ireland didn't report on any of the important facts you've just heard in this video. They only ever tell you one side of the story, the side that the establishment wants you to believe.